Jay Slater was born to Debbie Duncan and Warren Slater. He had an older brother, Zach. Warren had been estranged from Debbie as of Slater's disappearance. At the time of his disappearance, Slater was described as a 19-year-old young man. Weighing 11 stone, he was described by family and friends as a beautiful boy and one of a kind, who was always the happiest and most smiley person in the room. Others described Slater as a normal, hard-working young lad from Lancashire who was loved by all who knew him and had a zest for life. Slater attended the 3-day NRG Music Festival at Papagayo Beach Club in South Tenerife on the afternoon of June 16, 2024. After the festival, Slater went to the mountain village of Masca with two men he met at the festival, Ayub Qasim and an unnamed man, both of whom police deemed to be unconnected to the disappearance. On June 17, at around 8 o'clock Western European Summer Time, Ofelia Medina Hernandez, the last known person to meet with Slater, told him that his bus was due at 10 o'clock. Hernandez recalled driving past Slater as he walked fast in the wrong direction. Hernandez owned the Café/Villa Casa Abuelatina in Masca. 50 minutes later, at 8:50, Slater called his friend Lucy May Law to tell her that he was lost, as he had missed the bus to get south and was attempting to walk from Masca to where he was staying in Los Cristianos on the south coast of Tenerife, 10 to 11 hours on foot. Slater said that his phone had 1% battery, he needed water, and that he had cut his leg on a cactus before the call cut out. His last known location was the Rural de Teno National Park. Slater had earlier posted an image on his Snapchat account showing him at the doorway of a property, tagged with the location of the park. He also made a video call to his friend Brad Hargreaves, who thought he slipped on gravel. At 9:04, Slater was reported missing. After the report of Slater's disappearance, an extensive search headed by the Guardia Civil commenced, involving drones, sniffer dogs, and helicopters. The Asociación SOS Desaparecidos classed Slater as highly vulnerable. On June 19, the search was temporarily moved to the Los Cristianos area due to a potential lead, but this was disregarded and the search returned north to his last known location at the Rural de Teno National Park. Local Guardia Civil and rescuers also searched a 2,000-foot deep ravine in the Teno Nature Reserve. The search for Slater was initially focused on two British men he had made friends with in Tenerife 3 days before his disappearance. Slater left Playa de las Americas in a car with the men, who drove him 22 miles north to an Airbnb in Masca. However, police later confirmed that they were not relevant to the search after being questioned briefly by Spanish police and flew back to the UK. On June 24, a blurry closed-circuit television image taken in Santiago del Tide was shared by Slater's family, who they believed was him around 10 hours after he was reported missing. The next day, police officers looking for Slater stumbled across a Scottish hiker in a ravine. The 51-year-old was reported missing on June 21 after failing to return from a hike near where Slater was last seen. Officers stated that he would not have managed to get out of the ravine by his own means due to the difficulty and lack of communication in the area, but the hiker stated that he was experienced and did not need rescuing. Comprehensive searches, involving specialist dogs drafted in from Madrid, found no trace of Slater. On June 29, the Guardia Civil stepped up their search, urging volunteer associations to take part. Despite the efforts of between 30 and 40 volunteers and rescue workers in the Masca and surrounding areas, nothing of interest was found. The next day, on June 30, the search for Slater was discontinued by the Guardia Civil. They later revealed it had carried out discreet searches to deter curious onlookers. The local police declined to state whether it was actively investigating if Slater's disappearance was linked to a parallel investigation. On July 2, they stated there was no indication Slater had been the victim of a crime. On July 14, a specialist team of 6 volunteers and 4 dogs based in the Netherlands were deployed to the island, mounting a new search for Slater, and said, "There is more we can do." On July 15, the Spanish police reported the discovery of human remains in the vicinity of the area of interest, close to the last known location of Slater's mobile phone. This was the Juan Lopez ravine. The body was found with Slater's possessions and clothes. There were reports helicopter from the regional government's emergency rescue service was used to help recover the remains due to the inaccessible terrain. The next day, a preliminary autopsy by the Guardia Civil and the Canary Islands Higher Court of Justice confirmed the body found in the area was that of Slater through DNA fingerprinting. The autopsy proposed that he died as a result of injuries from an accidental fall or a plunge from height due to the broken bones he suffered. His body remained in Spain before being repatriated to the UK. The coroner ordered a post-mortem examination to be held in the UK, which concluded Slater died of traumatic head injuries, consistent with a fall from height. The report also highlighted that his death would have been instantaneous. Further information has come out. Mr. Slater's body showed traces of drugs including cocaine, ketamine, and ecstasy. His injuries were extensive fractures of the left side of his head, extending into the bottom of his skull. Mr. Slater also sustained fractures to the left side of the pelvis and hip joints. Injuries were entirely consistent with a heavy fall from a height, landing on his head. There was no sign of any foul play. It would have had an immediate and devastating effect on Jay's consciousness. The injuries were so severe I have no doubt he would have been instantly unconscious from the moment of that blow to the head. Death could well have been instant. The injury was so severe. Failing that, it would have most likely occurred extremely soon after the fall, he added. The official cause of death is head injury.